Hello, Anna.
Yes, Paul, you can start now. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, we can start now. Okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you everyone to joining this sharing session this morning in SGT time. So before we start, I want to introduce myself. My name is Paul Michael Siahaan. I'm from Indonesia. So I'm in charge in engineer and drive specialist in Indonesia. So I'm joined City since 2019 January, so almost like a 1.5 year. Okay, before we start, so I want to sharing about the business in Indonesia for the boiler application. So we are already doing, working together with the one of the biggest boiler OEM in Indonesia, and they approved to using our Commander C200 on their boiler component. So let's we share together by this presentation. Okay, before we start, I want to say apologize if you hear some noise from the airplane because I'm living near not far from the airport. So when the airplane is passed through my house, maybe a bit noise. Okay, let's start. Okay, yes, we want to share about the Commander C200 on boiler application. Uh, for the maximum capacity that we are commissioning, in my experience in Indonesia, like the biggest one is a 21 ton, which is using 132 kilowatt Commander C200. So it's still acceptable for the maximum capacity of the C200. If more than that, let me suggest you to use the F300 version of our PSD. Okay, start with the basic introduction. What is the boiler? So the boiler is the closed vessel. If you see below here, the picture. So is the closed vessel, which is we can see here the vessel type is like the pipe. Inside this pipe is the water. So the water will be heated from the furnace here, furnace area, and transform the water inside the pipe to become steam with under pressure for sure. Okay, so this is the process for heat transferring. And then the boiler furnace here, okay, transform the chemical energy. So from the fuel, we can see here in the picture is the solid fuel, is the coal. So we'll transfer the fuel from the chemical energy to convert to become heat that we're using to transfer to the water, to the vessel, I mean. Okay, so this process need to become as efficient as possible because we need to make sure we're not wasting the fuel, okay, to make it efficient. So how to make it efficient, that's why I will explain for the boiler component after this. Okay, so before that, uh, we have like a one, two, three, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have seven type of the boiler that common in the market. So let's say we have a fire tube boiler, tube boiler, package boiler, stoker fired boiler, pulverized fuel boiler, waste heat boiler, and fluidized. In this all the type, uh, especially in Indonesia, we only use the fire tube boiler. So in my presentation today, I will explain more about the fire tube boiler. So if you want to know about the another type, yeah, let me share. Let you give me some email, and I will reply to you and give the datasheet to you for the another type. So for today presentation, I will focus on the fire tube boiler. Okay. Okay, before we starting, I want to introduce about the fuel that we use in boiler. So we have four kind of fuel that we use to the boiler. So we have the solid one, coal, and lignite, and charcoal. For the liquid type, we have the high-speed diesel, light diesel oil, poor oil, and low sulfur heavy stock. For the gases type, we have, let's say, N-gas, and also we can use the biogas. And also for the agro waste, okay, we can use like the bagasse, pitch, rice husk, paddy straw, coconut shell, and etc. You can see on the picture is the coconut shell. Okay. So, let's see the how is this like the simple simulation at the boiler system. Okay, you can see on the picture on the right, we have here fire tube boiler. So here, we starting from the fire, giving the transfer the heat. Okay. We let's say the water, okay, inside the pipe will be heated and transform from the water to become the steam under pressure for sure. And then the excess of the fire combustion process, we have two here. So we have the S and we have the excess gas. Well, we will be go out from the chimney or stack. Okay, this is the simple simulation inside the boiler. For sure, we need to use the PID controller to control the steam pressure, the fire, furnace pressure, and also the control to the excess gases out from the chimney. Also control the S pit. Yeah, we use the PID. That's the advanced, and this is the simple simulation. Okay. For the boiler, relatively, we have a small capacity steam. We have like 12 ton, 7 ton, 6.5 ton, 21 tons capacities. Yeah, it's common in Indonesia. And also, fire tube boilers is classified to low to medium steam pressure. Let's say the common pressure that we use in Indonesia, like maximum is like 9.5 or 10 bar. So the production will usually like using like 7 or 7.5 in the production. And then yeah, operates or the furnace will be using fuel like oil, gas, or solid fuels. So for the OEM that we are working together in the business, we are using the solid fuels or coal. Okay. This is component, the basic one, component of the boiler. I have 9 component, and I also have the list. This. Okay. I will explain and going back to the picture. Okay. So let's say start number 1. The component is the name is the chain grade stoker. Back to the picture. Number 1. This is the chain grade stoker. So this component will be supplying continuously the coal inside the furnace area. So this is the furnace area. If you can see the different color, yes, this is the raw coal. This is the like after combustion or burning process lah. Okay. So this chain grade stoker, I will explain detail on the next slide. So the simple function is to feeding the coal. That's the point. Okay. So we have number 2 is the master control panel. Here. This is the master control panel. Okay, for the master control panel, usually we put like all the controller part the electronic component inside this panel. Let's say we put our VSD here, our PLC, our touchscreen, our sensor controller, we put inside here. So typically for our condition in Indonesia, we need to separate the boiler and this panel. So we separate by create some room together with the boiler operator panel. So we put air conditioner inside the room. So we make sure the electronic component will be get the lower environment temperature. So yeah, it's good for the lifetime of the component. Okay. Then number 3 is we have the 3-pass section boiler. Here, this is the 3-pass section boiler. So let's say for the simple function for this 3-pass section boiler, let's say we want to shut down the boiler. So when we doing shut down the boiler, we still have excess pressure here. Let's say the production using like 7.5 bar, then we shut down, we will have like a 5 bar, 4.5 bar still inside the boiler. So this steam pressure must be we need to take out from the boiler. Okay, we use this we can use it like a bypass. So we can reduce the steam pressure become 0 from this 3-pass section. Okay, that's the simple function. Okay, so number 4 is the coal-fired hopper. Here, see here. Okay, coal-fired hopper. Okay, the function is to pour the coal to the chain grate stoker. In Indonesia, we have 3 types. We have the number 1 is the manual type. Number 2, we have the semi-automatic. And number 4 is the fully automatic. Okay. Okay, so the common that we use in Indonesia is the semi-automatic. Why? Because yes, for sure, we need an operator below to pouring the hopper first, and then the hopper will be go up and pour the coal to the chain stoker. So typically we have like a 1 to 1.5 meter above the ground. So the coal will be from below. Okay, that's why we need the hopper. Okay, so for the yes, we using the human effort to pour the coal to the chain gas stoker, and for the semi-automatic, yes, the operator pouring inside to inside the hopper, and the hopper will be moved motorized to the chain gas stoker. So the operator will like push the button, and the hopper will move motorized. For the fully automatic, yes, the hopper will have a sensor that mention that the hopper is fully loaded coal and automatically move and pour the coal. So this calculation that the sensor will be like, we have also a sensor here to make sure that the coal supply is not stopping. That's the fully automatic design. Okay. Okay, before we move, I have one question here. So you can repeat the grate stoker working. Yes, sure, sir. I will explain in the detail. I have the another slide. Okay. Okay. We move again. Wait. Okay. I have another one is the fly ash cyclone system. Yeah. Wait, yeah. Yeah. Oh, remember the excess gases after the combustion process? Yes, we will go. The gases will go out to the chimney, and before it going to the environment, we need to make sure the gas as clean as possible to good the for the good environment. So we need to make like some treatment here. The simple treatment that we use is like to spray water inside the cyclone system, and the water will be filtered the gas. So let's say it's less carbon item or less a sulfur item. So we need to reduce it. So the water will go below here. Okay, and the excess gases, yes, will go outside from the chimney. Okay. Then after that, we have the induced draft fan or ID fan. ID fan component near the chimney. So this ID fan, I will explain also in detail, okay, for the ID fan, but the function is to suction the gas from the furnace and take it out to the chimney. Another one, we have the forced draft fan or FD fan in here, number 7. For this FD fan, the function is to giving fresh air inside the furnace. If you remember that when you're doing cooking or grilling, you need to blow some fresh air to your furnace for sure. Okay, because when this chemical procession, we need oxygen to burn the coal. Okay, and then number 8, the wet ash conveyor in here. So the function is to catch the ash from this furnace after the combustion process. It's collected here, and this rotary conveyor is like pouring together with the water in here. So that's why we call it wet, because the temperature of the ash may be high, so they will submerge in the water. Okay. And then we have rotary ash valve here, this area. So if you remember the cyclone system, for sure we have a lot of water here after the spraying process here. Okay, so this water will go to yeah, for the waste process, or we can doing the water treatment process. So like doing filtering, then we spray back inside the cyclone process. That's the common in Indonesia. So we do the water treatment and then spray back again inside the cyclone system. Okay, that's the function. Okay, as you can see here, I'm doing yeah, 1, 6, and 7 item. This is the common item that using VSD. So if you want to go to boiler OEM to for your country, this is the that for sure is using VSD to control the speed. The chain grate stoker and force driven, especially for coal, fuel coal. Okay, we will talk about coal here. For gas, for the another type, yes, sometimes they use, or sometimes they control the fire from the supplying gas. So if you have the customer that using coal, yes, for sure they use these 3 items, and we can promote our VSD to them. Okay. This is common that we use in Indonesia. We have 5 items that using VSD. Yes, it's induced draft fan, ID fan, and then FD fan. For item number 3 and item number 4 is an optional. Sometimes they use it, or sometimes they not use it. Depends on the customer. Typically only 1, 2, and 5 the chain grate stoker. Okay. The biggest capacity, is ID fan. Why? Because if you can see the distance here, wait, I back a bit to the from the furnace area until the chimney and suction the gas, we need a big force here. Okay, that's why the biggest capacity is the ID fan. Okay, for FD fan, smaller, and the smallest is the chain grade stoker. I will explain one by one to answer your question, sir, for the chain grade stoker. Okay. So this is the Indus draft fan or ID fan. Okay. The ID fan is used to create some vacuum or negative pressure into the system. Okay. ID fan. So this ID fan will give negative pressure to the furnace. Okay. Why? Because yeah, the ID fan function is to suction the gas. Okay. That's why giving the negative pressure. Fan used to pull out the air from inside the boiler and going out via stack or chimney. This is the common type of fan that we use. Then we move to force draft fan or FD fan is used to supplying air or positive pressure into the system. Okay. So FD fan is used basically for providing the required quantity of air to the furnace. Make sure the combustion process as smooth as possible and the heat transfer will be maximum efficient. To picture like this. So this is the FD fan. Yes, we need to supply some fresh air inside the furnace, giving the oxygen. So we need to make sure the pressure in the furnace is not negative and not to be positive. So we need to make sure the pressure in the furnace is in balance, or let's say in zero pressure. So when we are in position zero, the heat transfer from this furnace to the vessel, to the pipe in here in this picture, I mean, very efficient. Okay, and the combustion process is very smooth. Okay, that's the point. This is the common control that we using for ID and FD fan. So to make sure the pressure of the furnace, typically we put like let's say we use here photohelic. So this photohelic will control the pressure of the furnace. We need to make sure pressure stay on zero. Okay, if we edit more speed on the FD fan, this photohelic will be shown in positive area. If we give a lot speed of ID fan, the pressure or the photohelic will be show negative area. So we need to make sure balance. This is the PID function. So we need to control the FD and ID fan. The speed will be not the same, but the pressure we need to stabilize at zero as possible. Okay? That's the function. Sir. So the chain grade stoker is a wide endless traveling chain that fits and support the coal in the boiler furnace. So this chain will continuously running in a very slow moving. Why? Because the heavy load, the heavy condition, we need to use a gearbox. That's why the speed is very low, and also we need, if I back bit to the picture like this. Also, we need to wait this coal, the chemical process form become the S. We need to wait, not too fast. Very like a 5 millimeter per second, or like let's say 1 millimeter per second. Yes, very slow. chain grate stoker will continuously run. So if you remember when you are cooking or grilling, if you want to edit more heat inside the furnace, let's say the furnace, we need to edit more fuel, or we need to edit more fresh air. This is the control that the boiler can do. So edit more fuel, edit more fresh air, and suction more air. So that's the condition when we starting the boiler. So the chain grate stoker will be on full speed, and then the FD fan will be on the maximum speed. ID fan also in the near to the maximum speed. Yes, that's the situation when we starting up the boiler in the beginning, when the cold start in the cool, and then after that going to steady state condition. Okay, so yeah, it's working very slow and combined with the motor gearbox for the heavy load. Okay. This is the stop
Thanks a
control.
lot.
Yes, yes, sure, sure. So the stoker control, typically this is the simple one. Typically we need to increase or decrease when, let's say, the boiler already achieve like 9.5 bar and the maximum is 10 bar. So the stoker will be even stop. So the stoker will be stopped to like feeding some coal to the furnace to reduce the heat transfer. Okay, that's the position. But after, let's say after the pressure is dropping, and then we want to start again the boiler. Yeah, the stoker will be like running through feeding the furnace, and yeah, continuously feeding the coal into the furnace. Okay, for the advanced control for the stoker, we can see here on the right, we can manage the coal height, we can manage the coal density. Also, we have a proximity sensor to make sure that above the chain grate stoker, we still have stock for the coal. And also, we can calculate the coal consumption in tonnage. Okay, this is the common control for the stoker. That's why I mentioned that we have three, that if you want to penetrate to coal market, boiler market, especially in coal. So we have the ID fan, we have the FD fan, and we have the stoker. This is the component of the boiler that using VSD. We can penetrate from there. And okay, let me answer this one. What is the semi-automatic and fully automatic control? You mean the chain grate or the hopper? Wait, yeah. Okay, let me answer. Okay, semi-automatic and fully automatic control. Let's say for the hopper. So for the semi-automatic, yes, we still using the operator to operating the motorized hopper by pushing the push button. That's the semi-automatic. And for the fully automatic control, we will use the sensor. Let's say we have the proximity sensor above the stoker. We can use that sensor to give the signal to the control that, oh, hey, we already less empty coal above the stoker. We need to supply. We need to pour back inside. We need to edit more coal. So the control will be like taking the coal automatically going down, and then after the hopper also have the type that automatically filling. We can use that by using like, let's say we use like conveyor to filling the hopper. We also can use that. So automatically filling, and then the hopper will go up automatically. And also we have the limit sensor in there, and after touch the limits upper sensor, and the hopper will be open and pour the coal. That's the condition for the hopper. For the chain grade stoker, we don't have any semi-automatic, but we can let's say force from the control. So we can choose doing like jogging. We can use jog to the chain grade stoker. So chain grade stoker typically is automatic, but we can use jog for the semi-automatic. Okay, and how oxygen is important for combustion and how we control the oxygen concentration in the furnace. So yes, sure. For the I was explained the simple theory, but the advanced application, yes, we have the oxygen sensor near the furnace. Yes, the concentration of the oxygen also we need to manage. So if less than oxygen, then the FD fan will be increase the speed to feeding more air. But also this feeding more air will make the pressure of the system in the photohelix will be going to the positive area. So this is also the PID controlling lah. Yes, we have the oxygen sensor, sir, inside near the furnace. Okay, so okay, let's see. Okay, if no other questions, okay, that's the simple explanation of the boiler and the components, sir. So I will move to the what is the parameter setting that we need to setting so our VSD Commander C200 can working efficiently, sir. So this is the typical parameter setting. So this parameter setting of fan, I think for fan and pump application only, not for like conveyor application for the like let's say for another application, but we use it for fan and pump application. Especially for this case is fan. Okay, let's we start here. Okay, maybe you already see the component here. I mean, you already know that we are at minimum we need to use cable for the USB to RS485 cable here. So AI 485 adapter. This is the cheapest way to connect to our drive, and we put here. I think you already know about this. Okay, this is the cheapest way, the simple way, or we can manage to using the button. Yes, no problem, sir. Okay, you can use both. Okay, so this is the software that we use. Positioning tool. Connect dashboard display. We need to access the parameter. This is the display for the parameter. You already know. So don't worry if you have any confusion for the parameter, you just activate the view and the help. So this will explain all you need here. You also already know about this. This is the basic 10 parameter setting of the Commander C200. Yes, we need to, when we are doing conditioning, yes, we need to setting parameter number 1 for the minimum speed, maximum speed number 2, acceleration rate, deceleration rate, okay, drive configuration, which one do you want to use? Like, let's say you want to use analog voltage control, analog ampere control, analog current control. And also we need to put the motor nameplate here. I suggest you to do this because some case the drive will not running properly. So we need to put that motor rated ampere, motor rated RPM, motor rated voltage. Okay, also if you have, you can use the, if you can put the motor rated COSV. Okay, if the motor nameplate doesn't has, if you can put it automatically by using the let's say here, okay, by using the automatic calculation from the inverter. Okay, you can access the 00.041. Okay, 40, sorry, 40. Okay. Besides this parameter, simple, we need to access this 4 parameter. This is for pump and fan application, especially for fan. So we need to access this for the 00.028 for remote select, 00.032 for dynamic VF select, and this is parameter related to this parameter 00.42 low frequency voltage boost, and the last one and the very important one 0.5, sorry, 0.027 slip compensation level. Okay. I will not explain this simple one. I will explain focus on this 4 additional. Okay, because I think you all already familiar with this. Okay. Okay. This is the number one is the ER parameter 00.028, the RAM mode select. So for fan application, usually are not using the braking resistor. For the some type of fan, yes, we use the braking resistor, but most of the case we are not using. So let's say in our application is using, then we need to change it fast, and we use braking resistor. If we are not using the braking resistor, we use to standard boost. Okay, why? Because it's slightly better braking than default. So the default is standard. Okay, the parameter you can access here, remote select. We have option here. So fast, standard, boost, and fast boost. So, for the default, the form factor is standard. But if we want to make more efficient, we can use the standard boost for fan application, not for all application, only fan and pump application. If not using braking resistor, if using, we need to use fast. Okay. Fast, for fast, what is the example? If you are using crane for crane application, for hoist, crane hoist application, we need to respond as fast as possible. Yes, for sure, we need to choose the RAM mode select to become fast. That's the simple example for fast, and using braking resistor for sure. Okay. Another one is the dynamic V to F select. So when the speed of the fan is in the low condition, we need to keep for the minimum number. So to make sure we not reducing the load. So this parameter is relating to the another parameter. Access here dynamic VF to select the option only 0 or 1, activate or not activate. Okay. For dynamic VF is related to this parameter. So we have if the condition is the low frequency, we have the voltage boost here. So for the level that we use, for the frame size D, we can use 3%. And from frame size 7 and 8, we can use 2%. And from a bigger, largest frame size, we can use 1%. How to access the parameter low frequency voltage boost. If you cannot find the number, you can activate the help. You can see here is the same explanation. Okay. Okay. And the last one and the very important one is the slip compensation level. So if you can imagine that the fan is moving as let's say the normal speed. So you put like I want to move the FD fan or ID fan like 25 hertz. You can remember that especially on ID fan, if you can remember the physics rule, I mean, if you remember that hot air will be naturally going, not forcing by ID fan. So this is make some noise inside our drive. So if you can imagine that we make sure, I mean the inverter makes sure the speed of the fan is stable in some number, in nominal number, but the natural force because of the hot air from the combustion process is going up freely without any force because of the physics law. So that's why this is make some noise inside our VSD. In this condition, we don't need to set 100% correction for the speed reference. Why? Because the hot air will naturally going up by himself. So we need to make this correction become zero. This is will disable the sleep compensation. Okay. Because if we have the noise, it will make the motor failing to decelerate properly. That's the condition. So I have experienced a lot in this parameter. So when I forgot to put it zero, yes, the ID fan, especially ID fan will be like have distortion on the current. So yeah, I have the Cityscope. I will share to you. If you give me your email, I will share the file to you. Some Cityscope. Wait, yeah. Okay, I continue. So I have also the screenshot of Cityscope that show a big distortion. Let's say the small capacities, yeah, sure, it will not effect, but for the big capacity, let's say like a 30 kilowatt, maybe until 400 kilowatt. Yeah, I'm doing the commissioning for 400 kilowatt ID fan. So the distortion is very not good for our inverter. Okay, is why we have distortion? Because the inverter want to make sure the speed correction 100% set is the same with the set nominal. So that's the distortion come from. Okay, we need to make sure this parameter becomes zero. But if you have another application outside this pump application, please do not touch this parameter because we need to 100% correction for the speed reference. Okay, the speed reference from the VSD display must be the same with the motor actual speed. Okay, so this is the place that we want to access. We need to access min5 motor control and access 05027 for slip compensation level. We change it to 0 for farm and pump application only to make it efficient. So, in Indonesia, we have developed for Profinet communication. As you can see, we use the SI Profinet, and also we have a two, but the most of the case we have, we use Siemens PLC S1200C type, and also Rockwell. Okay, so yes, for sure, our VFD is support for Profinet communication. So it's if you can see the picture, our VFD only need the UVW cable and also the L1, L2, L3 cable, and also the communication cable. That's the reduce the hard wiring in here, in this area. So it's a better solution. Not only Profinet, we also have Ethernet and other communication. Okay, so for Profinet, I already make the easy restart for the communication using the function block inside the Siemens, and also compatible to another PLC. Okay, no problem. We can use another brand PLC for that support also Profinet communication. Okay. So, I will show two video here. One video is just like showing our commissioning when I'm doing commissioning, and the other one is for the easy troubleshooting for the Profinet. Okay, let's start. Wait. Uh, wait. Yeah, sorry for the problem. This one I will mute. Okay, this is panel, the control panel. Okay, this is the boiler. Okay, it's a fire tube boiler type. Okay, F5 and controlled by Siemens PLC. Okay, this is ID fan, FD fan, stoker, secondary FD fan. This is the fire over fire. So we have 5 pieces Commander C200, and also this is the easy restart. Yeah. I will mute. Okay. This is the easy restart. So I'm starting. Okay. Apologize for the video. Is this some amateur video? Okay, see, it's running. Okay. This is the communication. I'm plugging out. Error. No problem. Just put it back and push the red button, reset. It's ready. And we can start again. So, in this condition, we still on develop some technology. Maybe this is already famous in a few years ago. So this technology, if you can imagine that we save all the parameter motor and also all the function of the inverter inside the function block of the PLC controller, and we save the address of the Profinet inside the SI Profinet. So we make sure that if we change the unit with the other unit and put it back the SI Profinet, and we can restart again the system. So it's help to reduce the maintenance time. So if you have a broken Commander C200 in the panel, and because of the parameter motor or all the parameter setting, also we have inside the function block inside the control PLC. So we don't need to commissioning the VSD and just change it with the new one. And the Profinet address for the IP address will be saved inside the Profinet card. So you can imagine how fast it will become. So we still on the develop with our partner and Indonesia partner that supply to this OEM boiler. Okay. Yes, sir. We have the 5-year warranty here, so you can also promote to your end customer. Oh, that's okay. Wait. So, let's start to see the question here.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you, Bro Satya, for helping me. Thank you, Bro Mukesh. Okay, the drive support. Yes. Okay. Okay, energy saving purpose. Yes, sir. Yes, correct. Build energy meter. Yes. Okay, on board. What is the okay? Yeah, 5-year warranty, sir. Yes, correct. Uh, Ambient temperature without the rating for C200 VSD. For small and medium size frame size, we can give like 5 millimeters. Sorry, 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters, 50 millimeters. Okay, I will have the detail and I will send to you. Just give me your email. I will send the optimal distance between drive to drive and we install side by side. Okay. For the coal conveyor, will low speed operation. This is the unique one, sir. Okay, so for the chain grade stoker for the conveyor, because of we using the gearbox, actually the motor is normal running, sir. So the motor is running like 1,500 normally or 3,000 RPM normally, but reduced by the gearbox. The gearbox make it the motor slowly. That's the condition, sir. Okay. And will the motor, yeah, because of the full running, yes, the motor get the full torque for the rotation. Okay. Uh, yeah. Up to frame size 4, yes, allows to drive shot without derating. Yeah, correct, sir. Okay. I think, I think from me, enough. Maybe Anna. Hello?
Yes, okay. Is there any other questions?
Or maybe my colleagues from city. You want to give another information? Maybe Mr. Satya. Okay. Okay, if ambient 40 degree, so we have have to, yes, correct, sir, correct. You need to move to heavy duty. Yes. Okay, if we don't have any information or questions, and from me is enough. Thank you very much for all of you that joining this sharing session. Don't hesitate to contact all the city college, including me, for the technical support. Yeah, I will replay, including the for Mr. Sumit. Yes, I will give the picture to for the side by side install. Okay, Anna, I give it to you. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for attending the live webinar.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Okay, bye bye.
maybe some of them wasn't able to keep their I sent all the so I check names first.